Welcome, welcome, welcome back to the Royal Kingdom. So I'm excited. This is day number 2. And yesterday, you all got to meet my fellow visionaries. Yesterday, you got to meet some of the inner circle of the Royal Kingdom. And there may be more people hired as time goes on because that's just what we do to run a nice, smooth system here. So now, day number 2. I didn't want to just talk about the castle and you guys try to kind of imagine what it looks like. Instead, I am going to give you all a treat. So you're going to get to see the different rooms, where all the mastermind goes down with Lord Percy and Queen Victoria. You're also going to see some of my favorite, the war room. That's where trading goes on. That's one of my favorite. You're going to get to see the Royal Gardens. That is one of my favorite. Forget it. Just everything is one of my favorites. So you are invited to the castle, to the kingdom. So this is the kingdom of Queen Victoria. Within these walls, we do not seek to master the markets, we seek to master ourselves. The kingdom is more than a castle, it's a reflection of the mind. Every room has a purpose, every hallway leads towards wisdom. Every citizen knows that no decision is made by accident. Now, you just walk in, you'll walk into the grand entrance hall. This is where every journey begins. It opens with massive oak doors, trimmed in gold. It opens into a magnificent marble hall beneath soaring cathedral ceilings. The royal banners are in deep purple and gold, and they hang from stone columns. Each is embroidered with one of the kingdom's guiding virtues: wisdom, discipline, patience, integrity, courage. Now, there's sometimes sunlight streaming through the towering stained glass windows, casting brilliant colors across the polished floors. At the far end of the hall stands the kingdom's crest, engraved in marble, and beneath the words, "We do not control the markets, we govern ourselves." Every visitor enters through these doors. Every citizen is reminded why they came. So that is the grand entrance. All right, next is, as I said, one of my favorites. This is the mastermind room. This is the Chamber of Counsel. This is where Queen Victoria and Lord Percy spend a lot of quiet time together. I don't know what goes on in there, but they spend a lot of quiet time together. All right, so here's the official description. This is where wisdom speaks before action. This is the Queen's favorite room. It is warm and peaceful, illuminated by candles rather than chandeliers. Shelves of leather-bound journals line the walls, while large windows overlook the kingdom below. At the center sits a magnificent round table crafted from oak, ancient oak. Here the Queen meets Lord Percy each morning before the market opens. No trades are placed here, only questions. Charts are reviewed, news is considered, biases are challenged, plans are made. The chamber exist for only one purpose, and that is to ensure that wisdom always arrives before action. So, in this room, the Council of Chambers, this is where many times Queen Victoria has conversations with Lord Percy about whatever she's thinking about. He enters it in the ledger or in the journal. And he many times, almost always, gives his feedback, never shaming her. He just makes it a safe place where she can share her thoughts. Okay. So this is where the diary really goes down. Okay. Most of the time, probably like 90% of the time. Now, the next room, this is usually how the day goes. Um, the bulk of the day. They meet in the Chamber of Counsel. Once the ideas are thought through, any lessons from the day before, any thoughts of the day, then when the market opens, they go into what's called the war room. That is basically the trading floor. Okay. This is where decisions become action. Now, unlike the Chamber of Counsel, the war room contains no unnecessary decorations. Everything serves a purpose. There's massive trading screens covered one wall. The clock displays the world's market sessions. Charts glow softly beneath the dim lighting. The atmosphere is disciplined, focused, quiet. Once the queen enters the war room, there is no debating, no second guessing, no changing the plan. The time for thinking has passed. Now comes execution. That basically means don't get to the buy or sell button and then say, oh, let me do this instead. Have the strategy figured out before you get to the charts. Okay. Now, this is the next area is Parliament Hall. This is where the kingdom actually learns. Each week, the kingdom gathers beneath the towering wooden beams to review what has happened. Victories are celebrated with humility. Losses are examined without shame. Everyone speaks honestly, and there's no blame, no excuses. The carved beam above the speaker's chair bears the kingdom's question. Again, by now you all should know. The question is, did you govern yourself? Every journal is opened, every lesson is welcome, because a kingdom unwilling to learn is destined to repeat its mistakes. All right, now the next room is, oh, sorry, little boo boo. That was Dookie's Ori that was by my feet. The next room is the Royal Dungeon. This is where disorder is confined. This is actually where Reckless Ricky spends a lot of his time. Far beneath the castle, below the marble halls, below Parliament, below even the foundation of the kingdom, lies a place where few citizens ever see. It is the royal dungeon. Its stone walls are centuries old, carved deep into the bedrock beneath the castle. The corridors are dimly lit by flickering torches whose lights dance across iron doors and weathered stone. Heavy chains hang silently from the walls, not as instruments of cruelty, but as symbols of restraint. The air is cool, the silence profound. This is not a place of punishment, it is a place of protection. Whenever someone threatens the peace of the kingdom through recklessness, impatience, disorder, they are escorted here by the royal guard and relieved of their influence over the affairs of the crown. No arguments are heard within these walls, no negotiations are entertained. Once the great iron door closes, the kingdom returns to order. One cell in particular remains occupied more often than any other. Its occupant is known throughout the castle simply as Reckless Ricky. His cell is modest, a narrow cot, a wooden stool, an iron barred window too small to crawl through. The heavy oak door bears only a brass plaque engraved with two simple letters, RR, for Reckless Ricky. Whenever the queen acts impulsively, whenever discipline begins to falter, whenever emotion attempts to seize the throne, the royal guards respond without hesitation. They escort reckless Ricky back to the dungeon. The great door closes, the lock turns, and peace is restored. The citizens of the kingdom have long believed that there is no safer place for him than behind those ancient stone walls. And as far as everyone knows, that is where he remains. So, Reckless Ricky, we do have hope for him though. Now, next is the Royal Library. This is where wisdom is preserved. The Royal Library stretches 3 or 4 stories high. I don't even remember anymore. Golden ladders glide silently, towering shelves filled with journals, books, trading manuals, maps, and the accumulated wisdom of every campaign. This is where the royal archivist works. Every trade, every lesson, every victory, even every failure, finds its permanent place within these walls. Nothing is forgotten, for history is one of the kingdom's greatest teachers. Next is Queen Victoria's, one of her favorite places. This is the Royal Gardens. This is where perspective returns. Stone pathways wind through lavender roses, flowering trees, and quiet fountains. Bird songs replace market noise. The Queen often walks here after difficult trading days, not to escape, but to remember. The markets are important, but life is greater. The gardens remind every citizen that peace must never depend on profit. Now, the bell tower. The bell tower. This is where Sir Barton, aka Barry, this is where he resides. Well, works, but he's usually there anyway. This is where awareness lives. High above the castle rises a modest bell tower. Unlike the bells of neighboring kingdoms, this bell never sounds an alarm. It rings softly, only when awareness is needed. Its gentle tone drifts through the castle like a whisper. No panic, no urgency, only an invitation. Notice, many poor decisions have ended before they began because someone heard the bell. And then there's the Hall of Mirrors. This is where truth cannot hide. Few citizens enjoy visiting this room. Its mirrors do not reflect appearance, they reflect motives. Here, excuses disappear, ego is exposed, fear is named, impatience is recognized. The queen visits when she finds herself blaming the market. She leaves reminded that the greatest battles are always fought within. The Hall of Mirrors. Oof. Don't really like that place sometimes, but it's needed. Then there is the Royal Treasury. This is where prosperity is protected. Contrary to expectation, the Treasury is surprisingly quiet. No piles of gold, no extravagant displays. Every coin is carefully accounted for. Every expenditure has purpose. The treasurer reminds the kingdom wealth is not measured by how much enters the vault, but how wisely it is protected. And then this room symbolizes risk management, consistency, and stewardship, the quiet habits that preserve abundance long after it has been earned. And then there is the Watchtower, where patients keep watch. At the highest point in the castle stands the Watchtower. From here, the kingdom can see for miles in every direction. Nothing is rushed, nothing is forced. Scouts simply observe. Sometimes they wait hours, sometimes days. before reporting that the conditions are right. The Watchtower embodies one of the kingdom's greatest virtues. The market will always offer another opportunity. Now, this is also where Barry goes to, the Watchtower as well. This one is a little bit, you probably won't hear much about this room, but every queen should have a place where she can lay her crown down. So for Queen Victoria, this is the closet. It's hidden behind an unmarked wooden door. It's the smallest room in the castle. Few people have ever entered there. No throne exists, no banners, no medals, no accomplishments. Only a wooden chair, a worn Bible, a simple cross, and a candle. Here, Queen Victoria removes her crown before kneeling in prayer. Here, she remembers that before she is a queen, she is a servant. Inscribed upon the wall are the words, "Where the crown is laid down, the soul rises up." And beneath them, "The strongest ruler is the one who knows when to kneel." This room belongs only to the queen and to God. It is never open to parliament, never discussed in council. Its purpose is sacred. So, just a little summary, the castle's hidden meanings. What I find most compelling about the kingdom is that it isn't just a setting, it's a map of personal mastery. Each room represents a step in the process of governing oneself. The entrance hall signifies purpose. The Chamber of Counsel signifies preparation. The Watchtower signifies observation. The War Room, execution. The Treasury, stewardship. Parliament Hall, reflection. The dungeon, opportunity for growth. The Royal Library, learning. The Hall of Mirrors, self-examination. The Royal Gardens, rest and perspective. The Bell Tower, awareness. And of course, the closet, surrender to God. So, you all have met some of the main rooms in the castle so far. And as we continue in these 4 weeks, you may meet another few rooms and maybe even some more characters. So that is it for now. Hope you guys this today and yesterday were just basically an introduction. So you will have a visual of what goes on in the kingdom, who does what, their personalities and everything, and a little secret. At the end of the day, all of these characters and all of these places, believe it or not, actually exist inside of me. And I also, I would venture to say, exist inside of you as well. So, if you would come on this journey with me, it is 4 weeks. I am going to post every day. That's going to be a challenge, but I will do it every day. I'm going to try to keep it set for a particular time, probably 6 p.m., maybe a little later, depending on how the day goes. But I expect to learn a lot. It's a little scary because even though I think my trading, and again, this is not totally about trading, but even though I think my trading and my system is really good, one thing I have never really done was take this super serious. It has been more like, oh, I'm busy with life, so I don't have time to really be serious about it. Oh, I'm starting a new project, a new this, a new that, so I don't have time for it. So even though I continue to do it, I continue to trade, I have stopped, I have taken hiatuses for months, maybe even a year, and then I always come back to it. I feel as though my skill is good. Ooh. I feel as though my skill is good, but I've never really challenged it. And when I say challenge it, how we challenge it is we hold ourselves accountable. How we do that as traders is we journal, we reflect, we don't overtrade. So I am going to get into the nitty gritty and I'm going to analyze everything I do. I'm going to try to be patient. I'm going to try to be disciplined. I have identified my system. I may fine tune it as I see little flaws in it, but I have identified it and I am going to see how much I can adhere to it. Now, at the end, I'm not talking about profits and all of that, but at the end, I will see what I like to consider the most important part, which is going to be my win rate. My win rate right now is super low, so I'm not even going to tell you guys what it is. But at the end, we'll actually do a recap. I might give little spots in between so you kind of know how I'm progressing. Um, when I take a loss, which I know is going to happen, I'm going to bare my soul and tell you, and I imagine that's going to be a challenge. So, but it is what it is. I think part of everyone's trading journey, you have to factor in losses. So, I think one or two here or there, that's what I expect. But as I trade, I will see because what if I have like out of 4 weeks, what if I have? No, I won't have like 3 weeks of losses. No. But I'm probably going to have some issues that I didn't expect to have to share. But if it helps me grow, and that's the whole purpose of this, if it helps me grow, hopefully it will help you grow as well. And if you are not a trader, try to keep your mind open to this can be applied to anything else that you do in life or just to your own person. So, with that said, that is it. Starting tomorrow, which is Monday, it will be my first day of trading. So, I am going to meet Lord Percy in the Chamber of Counsel. We are going to discuss some things. I will have my squad with me, the inner circle, as they are known around the kingdom. Sir Stewie, Casey, Reckless Ricky, I'm sure will be there. Um, and of course, Lord Percy all the time. Everybody else is kind of just like as needed, but those are my main ones that are with me. And then, of course, on the weekend, Parliament convenes and we discuss, we back test and see what's going on. So, you guys wish me luck. This is going to be exciting, but I'm excited for it. And most of all, we are going to have fun. I am going to learn how to have a balanced life and increase my skill. So, for now, that is all. And I will see you all tomorrow.